Alright guys, we're going to get started on our Leap 360 interim review. So there's only a few problems that we're going to do on the video together. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 8, part A and part B, 9, we have 13, 14, and then we have 19, 20, and then that little bullet for 22. So let's start off with number 1. So it says which numbers are prime numbers. So I wanted to review what a prime number is. So remember that prime means that it has only one factor pair. Okay? Composite has 2 or more factor pairs. So, but we're looking for the prime, so we only need one factor pair. So let's look at 19. I know that 1 times 19 will give us 19, and I don't think that there's any other. So far A is correct. Let's think about 8. We know 1 times 8. I also know 2 times 4. Well, that's 2 factor pairs, so B cannot be correct. C, I know 1 times 21. I also know 3 times 7. Well, that's 2 factor pairs, so we know that C cannot be correct. 42, we know 1 times 42. We also know 6 times 7. And since it's an even number, we know that it would go in 2 times something. So this one has 3 factor pairs. So D cannot be correct. 5, I know we could do 1 times 5. And there's no others that will equal to 5, so this one only has 1. And then 23, I know 1 times 23. I know 2 won't go in there. 3 will not go in there. 4, 5, 6, 7. None of those will go in there. So I think this is our third answer choice. And it says to select 3 correct answers. So you'll notice that I worked out each of the factor pairs on the side to help me choose. So our correct answers are A, E, and F. Alright, let's look at number 2. It says which comparisons are true, and again we're selecting 3 correct answers. So comparing, that means we're looking at greater than, less than, and equal to. But it says which ones are true. So you'll notice that these answers are not written out in standard form. So that means we have to write them out in standard form. So if I have 9 hundreds, 1 10, and 7 ones. So I have hundreds, tens, and ones. Don't forget about those cheater charts. I have 9 hundreds, 1 10, and 7 ones. So it says 917, and it has the greater than. So it's saying 917 is greater than 900 plus 10 plus 7. Well, 900 plus 10 is 910, plus 7 more is 917. Well, is 917 greater than 917? No, they're the same. So A can't be correct. Let's look at B. So we have word form, which means I need my cheater chart, and I see thousands. So I have my thousands, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So I have 4,000. So 4,000. 500. So in my hundreds, I have 572. So 4,572. And they're saying that this is less than 41,062. Well, is 4,572 less than 41,000? Yes. If we look, this number has a 4 in the 10,000s place. This number does not. It has 0 10,000s. So 4 10,000s is greater, so B is correct. So let's look at C. again, we have expanded form. So 2,654. So 2,654. They're saying is equal to, and we have the word form. So thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So 2,654. Well, is 2,654 equal to 2,654? Yes. All right, let's look at E. We have 100 plus 10 plus 1, so we know that that's 111. And they're saying that's less than, we have 8 tens and 36 ones. So let's look at this one. We have tens and ones. We have 8 tens and 36 ones. Well, can we have 36 ones? No. We have to move these 3 tens into the tens place. Well, when we do that, that changes the 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. So now we actually have 11 tens and 6 ones. Well, can we have 11 tens? No. We got to move this 10 over to our hundreds. So now we have 100, 110, and 6 ones. So that's 116 is greater than 111. And that is true. So our 3 correct answers would be B, C, and E. And I actually forgot to do D, so let's check D out. We have 4 hundreds plus 2 ones. Well, if we have 4 hundreds, so hundreds, tens, and ones. So we have 4 hundreds and 2 ones. So that's 402 is equal to 420. Well, is that equal? No, it's not. So D is not correct. So our answer choices are still B, C, and E. All right, let's look at number 3. Now we're going all the way back to rounding, and it wants us to round to the nearest 10,000. So I'm going to write 678,513. And remember, you want to label your ones, your tens, your hundreds, your thousands, 10,000s, and your 100,000s. So if it wants you to round to your 10,000s, what place value do you want to circle? Well, you want to circle your 10,000s place, because that's what we're rounding to. So remember, when we round, we circle, but we also want to circle everything before. Then we need to look at our neighbor next door. Our neighbor next door is an 8. Well, remember, if it is 5 or more, we let it score. If it's 4 or less, we let it rest. So 8 would be in 5 or more. So that means the 8 is going to tell the 7 to bump up. So this means we have 6, the 7 will become an 8, and then everything after that turns into a 0. So when we round 678,513 to the nearest 10,000, we get 680,000, which is C. All right, let's look at number 4. JC has 12 Christmas cards. Lisa has 4 times as many Christmas cards as JC. How many cards does Lisa have? So I see JC has 12 cards. So here's my box for JC, and she has 12. Lisa has 4 times as many. So remember, times as many means to multiply. So Lisa has 4 times as much as JC. So in Lisa's box, she has 4 times JC, who had 12. How many cards does Lisa have? So this is Lisa's box, so we only need to find Lisa's amount. Well, what is 12 times 4? Well, we know that 12 times 4 is 48. So the answer is D. Alright, let's look at number 8, part A. Kiana made a rectangular frame with a perimeter of 150 inches. The width of her frame is 60 inches. What is the length in inches of her frame? So, seeing perimeter and length and width, you know we're looking at area and perimeter. So we have a rectangle, and we know that the perimeter, P, is equal to 150 inches. We know that the width, which is wide, is equal to 60. And we're trying to figure out the length. So what is our perimeter formula? Well, we know that our perimeter is what goes around. It's the outside. So we need our length plus our width plus our length plus our width. So there's two ways you can do this. One way is you can plug in, we don't know our length, but we know our width is 60. So 60 plus length plus 60. And we can add our 60s together. So P is equal to L plus 120. Well, we got to get these L's by itself. So we need to figure out how we're going to get our L's by itself. So we can also do W is equal to 60, and we know that 60 plus 60 is 120, but we're trying to get to 150. So we can make our tick marks. So 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150. So after you make your tick marks, you count up one side because we just want to find the length. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that means our length would be equal to 15 inches. And you can show it over here because we know our perimeter is 150. And so we would have to subtract 120. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So right now we have 30 is equal to L plus L. But we only want 1. So we would have to divide 30 divided by 2. And we know that that's equal to 15. So either way, because I showed y'all both, will give you the perimeter, the length of this missing side. Let's look at part B. Sally made a rectangular frame that has an area of 56 square feet. The length of her frame is 7 feet. What is the width in feet of her frame? So here we're given a different rectangle, and this time we're given area. So 56 square feet. The length, we know, is equal to 7 feet. We want to find the width. So if it gives you area, we're going to have to use our area formula. So remember, like our area model, we have to multiply. So with area formula, we're going to do the same. A is equal to length times width. So we know A is 56. We know our length is 7 times W. Well, 7 times what will give you 56? Well, I know that 7 times 8 will give me 56. So our width would be equal to 8 feet. So very important that you study area and perimeter before your interim tomorrow, because this will pop up a lot. All right, number 9, factor pairs. So remember, factor means to multiply. So I am looking to multiply each of these, and it says which pairs of numbers are factor pairs of 64. So I'm trying to find 64, and they want 3 answers. Well, if I multiply 22 times 2, that would give me 44. Does that give me 64? No. 64 times 1, we know would give me 64. What about 32 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. So yes. What about 3 times 24? Let's see. 24 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Add your 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. So nope. What about 8 times 8? Well, we know 8 times 8 is 64. And then what about 7 times 8? No, 7 times 8 is 56. So the only 3 answers that give us 64 is B, C, and E. So don't forget that factor means to multiply. All right, let's move to the next one. Okay, so we're moving down to 13. So here you can see that we have kilograms and grams again. So remember that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Okay? A car weighs 560 kilograms and 37 grams. Okay, so that's one number. Another car weighs 423 kilograms and 89 grams. So that's another number. It says, how much more does the first car weigh in grams than the second car? So here we have that keyword, how much more. And remember, this how much more tells me that I'm going to have to subtract. So I need to take both of these and subtract them. Well, remember, if I have 560 kilograms, how many grams would that be? Because it wants it in grams. Well, if 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, then I know that 560 kilograms would be 560,000 grams plus another 37. So this would be converted into 560,037 grams. Minus, now we have 423 kilograms, so that would be 423,000 grams, and another 89, so that would be altogether 423,089 grams, and we have to subtract. So we keep our unit of grams. We know we can't take 9 from 7, so we go next door. The 3 turns to a 2, the 7 to 17. 17 minus 9, 8. We can't take 8 from 2. We go next door, it's a 0. We go next door again, it's another 0. So we look at the 6. The 6 turns to a 5. The 0 turns to a 10, but we're not back home yet. So this 10 turns to a 9. This 0 to a 10. Again, we're not back home. So this 10 to a 9, and this 2 into a 12. So 12 minus 8 is 4. Then we have 9 minus 0, which is 9. We have 9 minus 3, which is 6. 5 minus 2, which is 3. And 5 minus 4, which is 1. So our answer is 136,948 grams. And so that is letter C. Sorry guys, lights went out again. There we go. Alright, so just remember your conversions for your interim. If you need to go back and look at your anchor charts and your notes, you need to do that. Alright, number 14. Here's another conversion, but this one should be simple. So it says, which numbers can be placed in the inches column to complete the table? Select 2 correct answers. So we are going from feet to inches. Well, I know in 1 foot, that's a ruler, is equal to 12 inches. Well, if I have 6 feet, how many inches would that be? Well, all I have to do is multiply. 12 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 more is 72. So I know that 6 feet would equal to 72 inches. Now I have to do the same with 9. Now I have 9 feet, but it wants it in inches. So 12 times 9. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 1 more. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I know that 9 feet would equal to 108 inches. So A, I see 108, not 84. I see 72, not 64, and not 36. So our only two answers are A and C. All right, last paper. All right, let's look at the bottom at number 19. So this one goes all the way back to place value. It says, which statement correctly compares the value of 3 and the number 3,452 with the value of the 3 and the number 231? So let's look at this. When we look at the value, 3,452, the 3 here is in the thousands place. And we're trying to compare it to the 3 and 231. Well, the 3 and 231 is in the tens place. So what happened? It looks like the 3 went back 2 times. Well, remember, each time you move a place value, you're multiplying and dividing by 10. So this would be times 10, and then to get to our hundreds, and then to get to our tens, we would have to do another times 10. Well, 10 times 10, that would tell me that we are moving back or forward 100 times. So you'll notice in the answer choices, there's 100 times, 2 times, 50 times, or 10 times. Well, we know we're not moving 2 times. That doesn't make sense. Or 50. When we move place value, you know we're only going 10, and we just saw that we can go to 100. So is the 3 and 3,452 100 times the value of the 3 and 231? Yes, it moved up 2 place values. So it moved up times 10 and times 10, which would give you 100. So A would be your correct answer. Number 20. Which equation represents the phrase 30 is 15 times as many as 2? So a lot of y'all missed this question on a test. So you have to think, we have the number 30, so we're going to write that, 30. What does is mean? Well, we know that is means equal. Then we have 15, So we write 15. And then we have times as many as. Well, what does times as many as mean? That means to multiply. 15 times 2. So we are looking for this equation. 30 equals 15 times 2. Well, A is 30 equals 15 divided by 2. That's not correct. 30 times 15 equals 2. Nope. 30 equals 15 times 2. Yes. 30 divided by 15 equals 2. No. The only one that matches up is C. So that is your correct answer. Alright, last one. The table shows the number of Christmas cards that 3 friends received. So Jack received 8, Francis received 17, and Lisa received 5. Lisa's goal is to collect 10 times as many cards as Jack and Francis combined. So this is important. Lisa wants to collect 10 times as many. So what does times as many mean? Multiply as Jack and Francis combined. Well, when you combine something, what do you have to do? You have to add. So the first bullet says, let C represent the total number of cards Lisa wants to collect. So we're finding the total. So they're saying let C equal our total. And write the equation that can be used to find. Well, this makes it easy when you look at what it's saying. It says 10 times as many. So 10 times, and then it's saying Jack and Francis combined. We'll look at Jack. Jack is 8, so 8 plus Francis, which is 17. So this would be the equation that we would use. When it says write an equation that can be used to find the number of cards Lisa wants to collect, this is what it's talking about. C represents the cards, and it's saying 10 times as many Jack, which is 8, and Francis, which is 17, combined, which tells us to add. So I know we haven't seen this in a while, and so I wanted to explain how we came up with this. Alright guys, go ahead and get started with the rest of the problems on your own. You should be able to do these. Remember, you'll get a candy for every 2 questions you get correct. So take your time and show your work.